Welcome to the Man of Recaps. This is House of the Dragon, Episode 1. Welcome back to Westeros. Yes, it's the first Game of Thrones new series after its less than stellar final season. We're about 200 years before the events of Game of Thrones, so this is multiple generations back. By the time of Game of Thrones, dragons were thought to be extinct until Daenerys Targaryen hatched her 3 new ones. But in House of the Dragon, we're at the peak of Targaryen power in Westeros, and they got like 10 fully grown dragons under their control. Let's meet our first main character, the young princess Rhaenyra Targaryen. She's a cool, confident dragon rider, just like Daenerys was, and so far seems like a pretty good person. Her bodyguard is this buff old Kingsguard guy, and her best friend and handmaiden is Alicent Hightower. More on her later. The king is her father, Viserys Targaryen. It's a time of peace and prosperity, everything's real chill. The big problem is the line of succession. See, Rhaenyra is his only child, he doesn't have a son, and there's precedent right now to skip over girls. The king right before him also had no living sons, and they held a great council to decide who should be next. And the realm decided they didn't want a queen, so they skipped over the cousin Rhaenys Targaryen and went for Viserys instead. So now by precedent, they would skip over Rhaenyra and go for her uncle, Damon Targaryen. Damon is a bold-ass dude who's an accomplished warrior and has just recently taken control of the City Watch, the Gold Cloaks. And he is real tough on crime. This night they round up a bunch of people and mete out punishments willy-nilly. And I didn't see any lawyers present, so it's unclear if these people were criminals or just whichever peasants happened to be in the streets. The King Viserys isn't worried. He's like, hey, that's just Damon being Damon. But the hand of the king, remember, that's the right-hand man, is Otto Hightower, and he does not like Damon. Another big player on the small council is Coreless Valerian. We don't really get to know him yet, but he is married to Rhaenys Targaryen, the old cousin that was passed over, the queen who never was. Now, this whole succession problem might not be a problem because the king's wife is pregnant, and if she gives birth to a son, well, problem solved. So in honor of the potential new heir, the king is hosting a grand tournament. And yes, it's awesome. They're doing some hardcore jousting. Wham! Yeah! Damon Targaryen is obviously a favorite, and he wears super sick dragon armor. Yeah, they've kicked the costumes up a notch in this show. But there's a newcomer, Sir Criston Cole, who's really no big deal. He's like a lowborn guy. But he's kicking ass here, makes a name for himself, and goes against Damon in the finals, and it's an epic joust and an epic fight! And in the end, this Criston Cole straight up wins. But during this tourney, the queen goes into labor, and it's not good. It's that awful situation where the only way to save the child is to operate, which would kill the mother, and it gets worse because the beautiful baby boy doesn't make it either. Sad times for the Targaryens. They have a big funeral, which does involve, by the way, dragon fire pyre. Okay, that's cool. The king is heartbroken, so the hand Otto Hightower brings in his daughter, Alicent Hightower, who is Rhaenyra's handmaiden and best friend. Now, the hand Otto Hightower mostly seems like a good guy, but now he's like, hey daughter, why don't you go comfort the old king? Bro, are you pimping out your daughter to your boss to get more power? What are you doing? Alicent, we don't know well yet. She seems like just a nice person, but she's the dutiful daughter, goes to visit the king just to read him a book and comfort him. But, that's how it starts. Now, while the king is sad, Damon Targaryen is having a party. He's rented out a brothel for all his best friends because he's definitely going to be king now. And allegedly, he gave a speech where he referred to his poor deceased nephew as heir for a day, which is, in real bad taste. So the king calls his brother in like, bro, you were way out of line. And this was the thing that pushed him over the edge. He names Damon not his heir. So Damon Targaryen is going home. Apparently, he has a wife in the Vale, but he says he doesn't like her. Instead, he's going to take his mistress with him. And by the way, he's got a sick ride. He's got a dragon. And so the time has finally come. King Viserys admits he's not going to have a son. He names his daughter Rhaenyra, heir to the Iron Throne. Now, Rhaenyra didn't particularly want it. She was happy to fly around on dragons without responsibility. But she does seem smart and capable and just and nice, so hopefully she'll make a great queen. But while Rhaenyra might make a great queen, and all the lords here at King's Landing pledge her their fealty, there's a lot of other lords out there who might prefer a male heir like Damon. And so the stage is set for a potentially messy succession. And that's where House of the Dragon Episode 1 comes to an end. If you like this recap, hit that subscribe button for more of the best recaps of TV and movies.